I've got very strong opinions when it comes to the video game industry, like the media and things like that. I've always felt, especially since the Xbox One era, that the mainstream gaming media was very biased against Xbox. Obviously, you have like the YouTube vloggers and things. Those aren't necessarily journalists. Those are mostly, enthusiasts or people that are actively getting paid to promote something, and that's fine. I think that's perfectly fine. That's great. They're going to tell you Xbox sucks or whatever, and then the ones that are influencers for Xbox are going to tell you Xbox is great. It's round and round we go, so to speak. But IGN, a lot of people go, oh, well, stop going to IGN, but they still carry weight because I think they're like the largest video game outlet there is, and I have some good fond memories of IGN actually. So honestly, it's not really something where I look at this and I go, oh, well, I could just stop watching that. Like, I don't understand because, basically Destin Legary writes this, and I don't have a problem with him. I mean, back in the day, he did like the Daily Fix or whatever, and it was like kind of funny, a running joke where the Xbox game was 900p and lower down than the PlayStation 4 version was 1080p. Like, that's what everybody was kind of making a big deal of. But it says, this is what it says: Starfield feels like Xbox's last chance at redemption. With Redfall a huge disappointment after months of no-shows, Xbox has one last shot at keeping its fans on board. So the first thing I want to say is this. Starfield seems like a very complex, very, big, hardcore RPG, okay? And I'm not saying that he's totally wrong in anything that he's saying, but basically saying everybody's going to be done if this game isn't like a 95 or whatever, I think is kind of ridiculous for numerous reasons. For the one reason is these games, outside of Skyrim, which did sell 30 million copies, they're not like huge sellers. I mean, you might see them sell 5, 10, 15 million here and there, and that's pretty good, but we're in a different kind of day and age. So according to this, it says, it's no secret that the gaming community is kind of angry at Xbox since Redfall released. It really felt like the straw that broke the camel's back. For too long, Xbox fan has been asked to wait just a little bit longer for the next amazing AAA game, but enough is enough. Redfall was supposed to be that game, and look how that turned out. Now with Redfall in the rearview mirror, it's time to look forward to the next big release, Starfield. So first of all, I want to point out, I don't think anybody was looking at Redfall as the next big AAA game. I mean, listen, let's just play devil's advocate for a mere second here. What if Arcane had did Dishonored 3 or Prey 2 and it scored an 89 Metacritic? Would everybody be like, oh wow, Xbox, it's so great, this is the big game? No, because not many people like Dishonored. I know, like, I get it, it scored well, people claim they like it, but, same thing with Prey. See, people claim they like it, a few people played it, but these weren't huge hits, and they weren't hits when they were available on PlayStation as well. So, Arcane did something different. It's, not a hit, but people act like, hey, if that would have just been, that Redfall, if Redfall had been, Dishonored 3 or Prey 2, then Xbox would save. I just highly disagree with that, right? It wouldn't be. And it's putting unfair pressure on Starfield. So, according to this, if Starfield is a flop or suffers from any kind of major problems or just not that fun, faith in Xbox's to deliver is going to be further shaken, and as a result, I imagine heads will roll at Xbox. Starfield doesn't deserve this added pressure, but it will be the first full-price game that has a chance to change minds about what Xbox is capable of. Initially in 2021, it felt like Xbox had hit its stride with a great campaign for Halo Infinite, the Game of the Year winning Forza Horizon 5, but it took almost another year for the promised features such as campaign co-op and Forza to be added to Halo's multiplayer, and that's after Infinite's initial release was delayed a year. It brought Xbox's competence to the forefront, and especially Phil Spencer himself said, if we lose our way with Halo, we lose our way with Xbox. So what exactly did that happen to Xbox's biggest franchise? Now, Forza Horizon 5 was a gem in the Xbox library, receiving industry-wide praise and finally putting Xbox on the right path when it came to big releases. It capped off 2021 perfectly, but then 2022 rolled around and nothing. Again, I just feel like I have to point out, like, you don't have to realistically go out there and make excuses for Xbox, but it's like we're in the midst of seeing the end result of all of these pandemic issues, the lockdowns, all that kind of stuff. So, and it's talking about PlayStation and what they've done, and it mentions Returnal, Ratchet and Clank, The Last of Us Part 1, Gran Turismo 7, Horizon Forbidden West, and God of War Ragnarok. So, Horizon, Gran Turismo, Last of Us 1, and God of War Ragnarok were all three last year. They had a weak 2021, in my opinion, with Returnal and Ratchet and Clank. And I wouldn't even count The Last of Us 1 in remake in last year's game, because it's a remake. I think like people trying to count all this type of stuff, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So anyway, it says Xbox needs a game that people don't stop playing or talking about for months, if not years. Well, how would a single player RPG be that? After years of waiting, Xbox desperately needs its answer to God of War Ragnarok, or a world to get lost in like Legend of Zelda. See, again, I think comparing this game, Starfield, to God of War, or saying they need a God of War or a Tears of... I don't think that's accurate. I don't think that's accurate at all. Because I saw some people bring up to Destin online, and like I said, I have nothing against him personally, and people brought up stuff like Hellblade 2, and he's like, well, that's not a big, wide-ranging IP. I don't think anything outside of Halo and Gears are big, wide-ranging IP for Xbox, to be quite blunt, and I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. They have a lot of variety and things like that. So, again, this is sort of weird to see that kind of happens. It says it has to be fantastic. Good won't be enough. And if there's something devastating like a save file bug or issues like Fallout 3 and New Vegas suffered on PS3, causing it to crash all the time, confidence in Xbox's ability to release AAA games will surely be shaken. So it mentions the issues that the PS3 had, which was very difficult to develop for at the time. And, the PS3 version had issues, not the Xbox 360 version. We also have to mention that Microsoft sent Xbox engineers to assist with making this game on the Xbox. There is that as well. And people are really quick to kind of dismiss the fact that, Arcane was trying something new, working with an engine they've never worked with before. And, it didn't turn out great. It happens, They're staffing up for their next job. It'll be all right. Games are sometimes going to not hit where they want them to hit, and it doesn't mean that you just throw the whole kit and caboodle away, or, you go out there and get rid of Phil Spencer or what have you. I think that would be kind of silly to do that. I think that's, again, just kind of crazy to believe that, hey, Xbox is, in super danger, and people are going to just, throw their $500 console to the side. I just don't feel like that's going to happen, and I don't feel that one game is going to make or break anything, and it could even be Forza Motorsport that comes out before that. So, we'll see what happens, long run with this, but it's so crazy to think that so many people are just out there saying stuff like, oh, well, we really need, everybody's going to leave Xbox if this happens like that. I think that's nonsense, to be honest with you. And I think that, it doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense for that to be the case, to be honest, 100% honest, and it's not really the thing, it's not really the thing that people think it is. I think that's what we have to kind of look into as well, is that fans kind of look at these things a little bit different way than everybody else. And I would hope that fans are smart enough not to go out there and go, yeah, this is it for Xbox or whatever. That's silly, because 99% of the gamers that are playing on Xbox, they don't give a damn about exclusives one way or the other. They're happy to be playing with Game Pass. They're happy to be playing what have you. So, again, we'll see where it all pans out. I'm going to link this. You can check it out. Do you think it's the end of Xbox? Ooh, let me know. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.